a town, and Allah has destroyed that town, and the people of the town have been expelled, and having expelled them, Allah has placed a ban on them that they can never return. They can come back as tourists, no problem with that, but they cannot return to reclaim that town, to reclaim that land as their own. Hatta, until when? Hatta إذا فتحت يأجوج ومأجوج وهم من كل حدب ينسلون. They will be allowed to return at some point in time. When will that be? When Gog and Magog are released and they spread out in all directions, and with their indestructible power. For there is a hadith in Sahih Muslim about Gog and Magog, Hadith al-Qudsi, the direct speech of Allah. I have created creatures of mine so powerful that none but I can destroy them. And so they spread out in all directions. And with their indestructible power, they take control of the world, the land, the sea, the sky. And the world order of Gog and Magog is established. Then you will see these people returning to that land, to that city, to reclaim it as their own. Which city is it? Which town is it? Well, we know that Allah expelled the Jews from the Holy Land. Oh yes. And we know that for 2,000 years they live in exile in the wilderness. And we know that the strangest thing of all to have ever occurred in the history of mankind was the return of the Jews to the Holy Land, to reclaim it as their own, and the restoration of a state of Israel in the Holy Land, which claims of itself that it is the Holy Israel of David alayhi salam and Solomon alayhi salam. The Quran explains the phenomenon of the return of the Jews to the Holy Land. It explains the phenomenon of the restoration of a state of Israel in the Holy Land. When it says that there is a town which Allah destroyed, expelled the people, banned their return, until Gog and Magog are released. And when they are released, they spread out in all directions. That town is Jerusalem. Oh yes. And so the Quran is explaining to us the world in which we live today. It is a world in which a world order has come into being, which controls mankind today. And that world order is the world order of Gog and Magog. Wonderful, isn't it? How the Quran can explain what otherwise cannot be understood. Who are Gog and Magog? The Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam entered into the masjid and found his companions sitting and talking amongst themselves, and he asked, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "We are discussing the alamatu sa'ad, the signs of the last day." Now when they use the term last day, they're not talking about 24 hours, eh? Oh no. Last day means the last age. Because the Quran says that a day with Allah could be like 1,000 years by your counting. So they said, we were discussing the subject of the signs of the last day. And the Prophet, Allah's blessings be upon him, responded and said the last day would not come. And then he mentioned 10 signs. This hadith has been preserved in the Sahih of Imam Bukhari. It has been preserved in the Sahih of Imam Muslim. It is muttafaqun alayh. What are those 10 signs? Number 1, Dajjal, the false Messiah, or the Antichrist. Number 2, Gog and Magog. Number 3, Dukhan, smoke, the environmental pollution, which is causing the earth itself to die. Number 4, Dabbatul Ard, a beast or a creature of the Ard. Ard can mean earth. Ard can also mean land or territory. But when Ard is used in terms of the last day, it invariably refers to Al-Ardul Muqaddasa, the Holy Land. And so my interpretation, and Allah knows best, is that the beast of the land or the beast of the earth is actually the beast which will emerge in the Holy Land. And everybody could see that beast today. The unholy state of Israel. Number 6, that the sun would rise from the west. That was number 5. Number 6, 7, 8. 3 khas. 3 movements of the earth in which the earth sinks down. So these are massive earthquakes. And when the earth sinks down, it swallows what it swallows. The first one will be in the east. The second one will be in the west. And that is east of Medina and west of Medina. And the third and last one will be in Arabia. And that third one, when it does occur, will confirm this is the Imam al-Mahdi, who will lead the army, which will liberate the Holy Land. And then there's number 10, and that is that a fire will come out of Yemen and drive mankind to their place of assembly. So it is within the framework of these 10 major signs that we look for an explanation of Gog and Magog. I have a book entitled Jerusalem in the Quran. And that book has a chapter, Jerusalem in the Quran. There's a chapter in this book which deals with Gog and Magog. There's another chapter in this book which deals with Dajjal, the false Messiah. And this book basically deals with explaining the subject of the return of the Jews to the Holy Land to reclaim it as their own. It basically deals with what lies ahead of us in the world. What is the destiny of Jerusalem and the Holy Land? I recommend this book to be read. When Gog and Magog are released into the world, Suratul Kahf of the Quran initiates the subject to explain it. Suratul Kahf is surah number 18 of the Quran, entitled The Cave. In fact, right here in my native island of Trinidad, I have been working for the last year and a half to write a book on this subject entitled Suratul Kahf and the Modern Age. It is Suratul Kahf which introduced us to Zulqarnain, someone who possessed faith in Allah, but who had power, a power which could not be resisted by any force in the world. He's like a superpower.